What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be attempting to translate some of Nizar Qabbani's poems. Nizar Qabbani was a Syrian diplomat, poet, writer and publisher. His poetic style combined simplicity and elegance in exploring themes of love, eroticism, feminism, religion and Arab nationalism. Qabbani is one of the most revered contemporary poets in the Arab world. He's considered to be Syria's national poet. As a student, he wrote his first collection of poems entitled The Brunette Told Me. It was a collection of romantic verses that made several startling references to a woman's body, sending shockwaves throughout the conservative society in Damascus. So he was a rebel. He talked about women. He was known as the woman's poet. And he wrote mostly from a woman's perspective. Talked about things that weren't talked about back then and aren't widely talked about now either. He also talked about freedom, which got him exiled. So the rebel in me salutes the rebel in him. And I'm proud to be able to share some of his gems with you. He says, read me, so you'd always feel pride. Read me when you search for water in the desert. Read me whenever they block the doors of hope on lovers. I don't write one woman's sadness. I write the history of women. In the beginning, there was poetry, and the prose is the exception. In the beginning, there was the sea, and the land is the exception. In the beginning, there was the bosom, and the slope is the exception. In the beginning, there was you, and then there were women. Even though these poems are to celebrate the return of feminine energies in the collective unconscious and to celebrate the age of Aquarius, that doesn't mean the masculine energies are not celebrated. This one's called The Impossible Crime. It's not true that the woman wants to kill the man, as without him, she's a queen that doesn't rule. In a building without an architect, and a theatrical script looking for a director, and a piano that can't find someone to play it. This one's called You Write the Poem and I Sign. I have no power to change you or to explain you. I don't believe that a man can change a woman, and false are the claims of the men that are under the illusion that they made women from one of their ribs. A woman never comes out of a man's ribs. Never. He comes out of her pelvis like a fish comes out of a fish tank, and he branches out from her as streamlets branch out of a river, and he orbits around her eyes' sun and imagines that he's standing still. I have no ability to teach you anything. Your breasts are spheres of knowledge, and your lips are the essence of wine's history. You are an autonomous woman. Your oil comes from you, your wheat from you, your fire from you, and your summer, and your winter, and your lightning, and your thunder, and your rain, and your snow, and your waves and your foam, all from you. Who can convince a squirrel to go to school? Who can convince a Siamese cat to play the piano? Who can convince a shark to become a nun? I have no ability to tame you, or to domesticate you, or to discipline your primal instincts. I tried my intelligence with you. I tried my stupidity too, and nothing worked with you, nor enlightenment or seduction. Stay primitive as you are. Stay moody as you are. Stay aggressive as you are. What's to be left of Africa if we took away from it its tigers and spices? What's left of Arabia if we took away from it the oil's glory and the Nile glory? I have no ability to break your habits. You've been like this for 30 years, 300 years, 3,000 years. A tornado locked in a bottle, a body feeling out a man's scent by nature and attacks it by nature and triumphs over it by nature. So don't believe what a man says when he says he makes the poems and he makes babies. The woman writes the poem and the man signs. The woman gives birth to children and the man signs in the hospital that he became a father. I have no ability to change your nature. My books are no good for you. And my convictions won't convince you, nor will my fatherly advice benefit you. You're the queen of chaos and madness and unbelonging. So stay as you are. You are the femininity tree that grows in the dark and needs no sun or water. You're the sea's princess that loved all men and loved no one, and made love to all men and didn't make love to anyone. You're the Bedouin that left with all the tribes and came back a virgin. So stay as you are.